In a world where external expectations drown out your truest self, how do you navigate back to the compass that guides you? This book is not merely a self-help book. It is a beacon for those grappling with the shadows of mental health struggles. As societal pressures mount and the specter of judgment looms, the journey to authenticity often feels perilous. Within these pages lies a powerful toolkit designed to unravel the complexities of your thoughts and emotions, helping you reclaim your path to well-being. Step into a realm where your innermost values reign supreme, and allow your true self to emerge resilient and unyielding. Inner Compass, Staying True to Yourself Despite Peer Pressure, written and published by Mindset Liberation. Chapter 1. Defining Your Core Values. Every day, countless individuals grapple with the reality that what they perceive as a failure to meet expectations isn't rooted in their inherent capabilities, but instead arises from a disconnection with their true selves. Mental health issues such as anxiety and depression frequently stem from an erosion of self-identity, aggravated by the relentless pressure to conform to societal norms. In this convergence of external influence and inner turmoil, it becomes painfully clear. A belief in values dictated by others can lead to emotional crisis and severely diminish one's sense of purpose. Consider the staggering statistic. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, nearly 1 in 5 adults in the United States experiences mental illness within a given year. These numbers reveal not only a collective struggle, but also an insidious truth that many are unwilling to confront. The more we drift from our core values, the more susceptible we become to the corrosive effects of resentment, guilt, and despair. Personal stories often highlight this alarming reality. For instance, a successful entrepreneur named Sarah, admired for her achievement, found herself spiraling into anxiety before discovering she had spent nearly a decade prioritizing her workplace's demands over her own values of creativity and connection. Her journey reflects a broader phenomenon. Individuals lose their essence while striving to please the world around them. This disconnection often creeps in subtly, manifesting in everyday choices that appear innocuous at first glance. Friends, family, and colleagues may wield commentary on your decisions without the slightest awareness of how their words weigh on your mental state. Each time you comply with external expectations, you inch further away from your core values, fostering an internal discord that shadows your thoughts. Experts emphasize that this misalignment between personal values and behaviors can significantly affect mood and mental health. Psychologist Dr. Jordan B. Peterson argues, to find meaning in life, we must first define our values based on our unique experiences, feelings, and aspirations. His assertion brings forth a critical realization. Understanding your fundamental beliefs isn't just another self-help fad, it's a necessary endeavor for psychological well-being. Picture a life where your decisions flow from a reservoir of personal significance rather than the prevailing winds of public opinion. When you ground your actions in core values like kindness, honesty, and passion, you become fortified against the pressures that stifle mental health. The difference unfolds in the simplest moments: how you communicate with others, the pursuits you choose, and the boundaries you set. Regaining and defining these values is like reclaiming lost territory in a battle for mental clarity. You begin to cultivate a profound sense of self-respect, vibrating in resonance with your beliefs. This alignment not only bolsters your self-esteem, but also acts as a powerful shield against external disturbances, constructing a sanctuary for your mental health to flourish. With this understanding, it becomes clear that the journey to define one's core values is not merely an exercise in reflection. It is the foundation upon which consistent emotional wellness is built. As you take the courageous steps to excavate what truly matters to you, be prepared to have the unsettling yet essential conversations with yourself about what you value and where you may have veered off course. This will then shape your journey ahead, allowing you to tread the path laden with authenticity, armed with the awareness and resilience necessary to push back against the pervasive forces of peer pressure and disillusionment. The consequences of drifting from one's core values are profound, cascading into every facet of life. First and foremost, individuals often encounter a heightened level of emotional distress, Feelings of confusion, guilt, and even worthlessness can overwhelm them when actions fail to align with their beliefs. Psychological studies reveal that this emotional misalignment fosters a sense of cognitive dissonance, leading to an internal conflict that robs individuals of peace. For example, when Jane, a well-respected marketing executive, consistently compromises her ethical standards in pursuit of corporate image, she finds herself wrestling with anxiety and self-loathing each time she engages in a decision that contradicts her commitment to honesty and integrity. This emotional turmoil constricts her ability to make future choices, as she feels shackled by the invisible chains of her earlier compromises. Moreover, the impact extends to decision-making processes as well. When personal values are obscured, choices become clouded by external pressure rather than being anchored in one's own beliefs. A clear example is David, a young man aiming to impress his peers who feels swayed by more aggressive financial behaviors, leading him to make reckless investments, contrary to his cautious nature. This misguided decision ultimately deteriorates his financial security and breeds resentment among those close to him, further isolating him. Research conducted by Dr. Roy Baumeister on self-control supports this perspective. He argues that when individuals concede to outside influences, their intrinsic willpower diminishes, making it all the more challenging to make choices that validate their core beliefs. The implications also ripple into personal relationships, a realm where respect and authenticity are paramount. When one's values fall prey to external expectations, the pain of dishonesty permeates interactions with loved ones. Sarah found herself drifting from her belief in mutual respect in her romantic relationship, ultimately compromising herself in a toxic union where her partner's preferences reigned supreme. As she neglected her own values for the sake of preserving the relationship, she remained caught in a cycle of dissatisfaction and resentment. The research by Dr. John Gottman illustrates this phenomenon, emphasizing that relationships rooted in authenticity and shared principles thrive, whereas those defined by dissonance with personal values eventually wither. Self-esteem is notably affected as well, often coinciding with an individual's alignment, or lack thereof, to their values. When people face situations that force them to act against their belief systems, they chip away at their self-worth. Jessica, who has always valued environmental conservation, found herself purchasing products that contradicted her environmental stances due to peer influence. Each purchase accentuated her feeling of inadequacy, detracting from her self-image and reinforcing a narrative of failure, as each conflicting action conflicted with her intrinsic value system. Psychological studies consistently indicate that self-identity correlates strongly with actions. Therefore, when individuals act contrary to deeply held values, they perpetuate cycles of low self-esteem that echo across their lives. As urgency mounts to delineate how external influences can distort the lens through which we view ourselves, it's paramount to recognize that these hidden pressures may often masquerade as benign. The heart-wrenching truth is that many individuals walk through life unaware of these corrupting influences, their identities wrapped in a facade that society has meticulously constructed for them. The stark reality is that only by defining your core values can you dismantle these harmful constructs and pave the way for emotional fulfillment and resilience. In the upcoming section, we will uncover the hidden warning signs that most overlook, quietly steering them away from their authentic selves, ensuring that you remain vigilant on your path to personal truth. The silent manifestations of mental health issues tied to disconnection from one's core values often lurk beneath the surface, emerging through various emotional and behavioral patterns. Recognizing these signs becomes crucial, as they can be the first arrow pointing toward the larger issues at play in one's psyche. For instance, persistent feelings of anxiety and restlessness signal that individuals feel strained by external expectations rather than powered by their authentic desires. Consider the case of Tom, a college student felt paralyzed by the pressure to pursue a career in engineering to satisfy his parents' dreams, drastically veering away from a passion for the arts that once filled him with joy. Tom's anxiety manifested in sleepless nights and overwhelming self-doubt, a clear indication that he was confined in a box built by someone else's vision of success. Another prevalent manifestation is chronic dissatisfaction, often prompting individuals to question their achievements and capacities. Emily, a marketing manager, reached a plateau in her career, feeling unfulfilled despite commendable performance reviews. Her relentless pursuit of approval from her superiors had led her to neglect her innate creativity, a core value that had once excited her about the field. In her struggle to find meaning, she found herself scrambling to fill a void that grew wider with each passing day. Research indicates this pain originates from unmet psychological needs, including the fundamental desire for autonomy and authenticity. Without acknowledging such patterns, individuals often find themselves caught in a cycle that stifles personal growth and fulfillment. Self-isolation and withdrawal from social interaction also serve as environmental indicators of unaddressed mental health issues. Caitlin, once an enthusiastic member of her community, began attending fewer gatherings, opting instead to stay at home. Her disengagement paralleled her internal battles with conformity and a stark realization that those around her fostered a disconnection from her authentic self. As she watched her friendships begin to crumble, it became evident her struggle represented a deeper conflict: to remain accepted while surrendering her values in silence. Statistics from the World Health Organization reveal that social isolation has striking correlations with declining mental well-being, highlighting the urgency of attending to these key warning signs. Recognizing these patterns signals the beginning of critical self-awareness and paves the way for healing. Awareness stems from necessity. Only by coming to terms with your mental health symptoms can one begin to revive core values that resonate with true identity. Embracing the uncomfortable reality of one's situation is an immense act of bravery and courage. The acknowledgement of self-defeating beliefs and distressing emotions serves as a catalyst to embark on a transformative journey. Just as an athlete assesses their weaknesses to strategize for improvement, so too must individuals scrutinize their experiences to glean insights that shift them towards healing. As this chapter concludes, remember that the awareness of your mental health manifestations is not merely an end, but an essential beginning, heralding a more sustained journey towards self-realization and authenticity. Next, we will delve into the ways to trust your inner voice confidently, empowering you to safeguard your core values against external pressures. Embrace this next step towards clarity and growth. And if this insight resonates with your journey, don't hesitate to subscribe to Mindset Liberation. Leave a like or share your thoughts on your experiences and suggestions to enhance our community for collective development. Chapter 2. Trusting Your Inner Voice. In a world saturated with noise, where opinions of well-meaning friends and endless societal expectations overpower our intuition, the greatest challenge is to tune into the inner voice that resonates with our core values. Trusting this voice is not merely an aspiration, it is a transformative and empowering act that allows individuals to reclaim their authenticity. The power of the inner voice stems from a deep understanding of self, forged through experiences, beliefs, and emotions that guide decision-making. When individuals listen closely to their inner narratives, they cultivate resilience and clarity, even amidst external chaos. The need to foster trust in this inner voice is strikingly evident in society today. A survey conducted by the American Psychological Association found that nearly 75% of adults report feeling overwhelmed by stress at some point in their lives due to perceived pressures, which often drown out their inner dialogue. As we strive to conform to what others deem acceptable, the essence of our true selves becomes distorted, leading to heightened anxiety and confusion. For example, Lucy, a young professional entangled in a corporate structure, found herself micromanaging her life in pursuit of validation from her supervisors and peers. Each posturing she performed left her drained, confined in a mask that didn't represent her vibrant creativity. Upon reflecting on her desires, Lucy unearthed the powerful realization that her passion for design had laid dormant not because of inability, but because she had forgotten how to listen to her inner voice. This concept finds roots in rich psychological research. Psychologists like Dr. Brené Brown emphasize that the ability to identify and nurture our authenticity often leads to deep connections, inner peace, and emotional robustness. She points out that vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation and creativity, reinforcing that recognizing and trusting your inner voice saves you from the paralysis of conformity. The ramifications are clear. When individuals reclaim their inner dialogue and express true beliefs, they experience an upward trajectory in confidence, self-regard, and ultimately, happiness. The intuitive pull toward staying true to oneself not only inspires confidence, but also fosters an emotional revolution, turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. Imagine George, a talented musician. For years, he hesitated to perform original compositions in fear of rejection. Yet one day, he chose to trust his inner voice, sharing the music that reflected his essence rather than merely striving for external approval. The exhilarating response from audiences ignited a fire within him, unleashing a torrent of creativity and affirmation that reshaped his understanding of both art and self-worth. This interplay between trust and emotional well-being underscores the compelling nature of self-advocacy. Gaining a clearer understanding of one's desires and feelings reinforces the belief that individuals possess the key to transformation within themselves. As you cultivate this trust, the trajectory of your life begins to steer toward authenticity, congruent with your core values, aspirations, and passions. In essence, by practicing the art of trusting your inner voice, you empower yourself with a foundation upon which future choices and aspirations can flourish without the burden of outer expectations weighing down your spirit. Whether you're standing at a crossroads in your personal life or professional journey, allowing this voice to become your North Star can illuminate the path ahead. As we step forward into navigating the nuances of self-trust, the following section will equip you with essential strategies to strengthen this inner dialogue, igniting the momentum necessary for the change you seek. Prepare to engage with the secrets that will solidify your connection to your authentic self in chapters ahead, reminding you that the power of transformation is, and always has been, in your hands. Trusting your inner voice is not just a compelling idea. It is a scientifically backed methodology for overcoming self-doubt and mental health struggles. This method is effective because it activates a person's intrinsic motivation, fostering authentic decision-making aligned with personal values. Research indicates that those who actively engage in self-reflection and heed their intuition enjoy heightened emotional resilience and satisfaction in various areas of life. Not only does it empower individuals, but it enhances their overall well-being, grounding them firmly in their identity. One especially poignant study published in the journal Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin found that individuals who valued authenticity and made choices reflective of their true desires reported significantly lower levels of emotional distress. This correlation illustrates that when people trust their inner voices and embrace their uniqueness, they pave the way for healthier relationships and individual empowerment, key ingredients for a fulfilling life. Further questioning the methodology, brain imaging research has shown that concepts of self-trust activate areas of the brain linked to emotional regulation, reinforcing how deeply interconnected our mental faculties are with our self-perception. Real-life transformation stories vividly demonstrate this effectiveness. Take Amanda, for instance. A once successful corporate lawyer, she reached a breaking point when she realized she no longer derived satisfaction from her work. The external accolades and promotions had stifled her creative instincts, leading her to an existential crisis where her inner voice screamed for change. Initially hesitant, Amanda chose to explore her deep-seated passions for writing and public speaking, trusting that her inner voice was inextricably linked to her authentic self. After analyzing her motivations and navigating the fears associated with leaving a secure job, she finally took the leap. Not only did Amanda rediscover her love for storytelling, but her successful transition sparked a newfound fervor in her career, allowing her to connect deeply with audiences by sharing her authentic journey. Her story echoes the urgent call to action for anyone wrestling with their identity. Trust that inner voice, as it can guide you into your most fulfilled version of self. Moreover, the urgency of cultivating this self-trust cannot be overstated. In today's climate of endless comparisons and societal pressures, neglecting one's internal guidance has led many astray. instigating mental health complications that are increasingly heralded as an epidemic. Anxiety and depression rates have spiked astronomically, almost 300% among young adults in the last decade alone, as highlighted by research from the National Institutes of Health. It's crucial now more than ever to urge against the prevailing temptation to subdue the inner voice, and instead learn to celebrate it. Each echo of that voice is a beacon guiding you home, unveiling your true essence amidst societal noise. By intentionally practicing methods to trust your intuition, you position yourself to break free from the heaviness of external expectations. You reignite the spark that propels you toward self-definition, emotional clarity, and resilient well-being. As you continue embracing your inner wisdom, the journey ahead promises access to not only healing but transformation. Transitioning into the next segment, we will delve deeper into specific strategies to consolidate this trust, exploring effective techniques that guide you in attuning effectively to that voice, illuminating your path towards authenticity. Each strategy will empower you to not only hear your voice, but confidently act upon it, bringing you closer to the life you were meant to lead. Embrace the momentum of this enlightening journey, knowing that your authentic self is waiting just beyond the horizon. The journey towards trusting your inner voice unfolds with practical steps designed to connect you to your deepest self and empower your decisions. Let's dive into actionable methods that will enhance your ability to hear that inner guide and let it steer you toward a more authentic life. Begin by setting aside dedicated time each day for self-reflection. Choose a quiet space, free from distractions, where you can sit comfortably and engage in what's known as the listening practice. In this meditation, close your eyes, take several deep breaths, and calmly allow your thoughts to flow. As you settle deeper into this tranquil state, focus your awareness on your body and the sensations it carries. What feelings arise in response to life circumstances, choices, or relationships? Allow these emotions to surface without judgment, and take note of them. This practice opens a path to understanding not just your thoughts, but the deeper feelings connected to your inner voice. Following this practice, challenge yourself to engage in journaling. After your listening session, write down everything that comes to mind. Don't worry about grammar or coherence. The goal is to capture your raw, undiluted thoughts. Aim to write for at least 10 minutes, letting your pen dance across the paper without self-censorship. This exercise acts as a bridge between your heart and mind, illuminating the values that resonate deeply with you. Over time, patterns within your writings will emerge, shedding light on thoughts or beliefs that may have been submerged, yet are essential for your sense of self. A fascinating exercise called value clarification also proves beneficial. List out 5 principles or values that are non-negotiable for your peace and fulfillment. These could be kindness, creativity, adventure, or integrity, for example. Once identified, reflect on how often you currently honor these values and identify situations in which you're comfortable communicating them. Acknowledging the areas where you thrive allows you to embrace opportunities that align with your core self, enhancing your confidence. Aim to integrate at least one tiny action each day that reaffirms these values, celebrating those small wins. As you cultivate the habit of listening to your inner voice, create what is known as positive affirmations. Craft statements that encapsulate your unique strengths and capabilities, reinforcing your trust in yourself. For example, you might declare, "I am worthy of pursuing my passions," or "My choices reflect my authentic self." Repeat these affirmations daily, whether in front of a mirror, during your listening practice, or throughout moments of doubt. Over time, they solidify self-belief and encourage a natural inclination towards trusting your inner guidance. The essence of this process is to encourage patience. Self-trust takes time to blossom. As you embark on these exercises, acknowledge each step you take so that you can build momentum. Small victories may include speaking up in a meeting about your ideas or giving yourself permission to pursue a hobby that resonates with your core values. As you align with these wins, confidence breeds confidence, leading to even larger opportunities for growth. In conclusion, these strategies launch you towards trusting your inner voice that will redirect your path toward authenticity. Embrace the small steps and revel in self-discovery. As our journey moves forward, the next chapter will explore the essential process of setting firm boundaries with confidence, empowering you to protect the newfound voice you've cultivated. If you find these insights beneficial, be sure to subscribe to Mindset Liberation, give this video a like, or share your thoughts on your personal journey towards trusting your inner self. It's your engagement that inspires further development of our community. Together, let's chart a path toward a more vibrant and fulfilling life. Chapter 3. Setting Boundaries with Confidence. Embracing your inner voice is an empowering journey, but it is only through the assertion of boundaries that you can truly protect and honor that authentic self. Setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness, nor is it a sign of weakness. It is a critical practice of self-respect that fosters healthy relationships and nurturing environments. Establishing boundaries allows us to communicate our needs and desires clearly, enabling a more genuine connection with those around us. It is a foundational skill many struggles to master. Yet the truth is, empowered boundaries can revolutionize your sense of self-worth and emotional well-being. Research consistently highlights the prevalence of boundary issues in our lives. A study published in the journal Personal Relationships indicates that effective boundary setting directly correlates to an increase in relationship satisfaction, with 72% of individuals reporting improved well-being when they express their needs assertively. The human experience is heavily influenced by interpersonal dynamics, and recognizing this means we can no longer afford to be passive participants in our own lives. Whether it's familial pressures, toxic friendships, or workplace demands, failing to possess clear boundaries can lead to overwhelm, resentment, and churn within our mental health. Real-life scenarios illustrate just how common this struggle is. Take the example of Rick, a dedicated employee striving for promotions, yet constantly buried under the weight of additional responsibilities. He found himself saying yes to every request from peers and superiors, neglecting his own workload and well-being. Each time his colleague approached him with a minor request, rather than asserting that his plate was full, he acquiesced, ultimately leading him to burnout. It wasn't until he attended a workshop on boundary setting that he learned the importance of voicing his limits. Rick began engaging in the practice of stating clearly when he was available to help, strengthening his capacity to defend his workload while still being a supportive coworker. By setting firm boundaries, he transformed his work life, gained the respect of his peers, and restored balance to his personal life. Incorporating insights from psychology, renowned researcher Dr. Brené Brown emphasizes that setting boundaries is an act of compassion. It requires vulnerability as we express our needs, yet this is also how true intimacy blooms in relationships. Only when we convey what we are willing to accept can we establish an environment where both parties feel valid in their emotions and contributions. Boundaries foster clarity and safety, opening doors to deeper, more meaningful connections. Understanding the necessity of boundaries also means confronting our trepidations of what others might think. Many individuals hesitate to set boundaries out of fear of rejection or conflict. The fear of disappointing others often paralyzes them. A recent survey by the American Psychological Association showed that nearly 65% of respondents felt overwhelmed by societal pressures to prioritize others' needs over their own. Commit to unpeeling this pressure by reinforcing the belief that your well-being matters too. With painstaking effort, you hold the power to determine how your time and energy are allocated. As you delve into the practice of boundary setting, rejoice in the potential strides you can take to reclaim your autonomy. Trust that as you fortify your boundaries, emotional clarity and stronger relationships will follow. In our next chapter, we will explore how to firmly communicate these boundaries with confidence, ensuring that your newfound foundation remains unyielded. Prepare to lay the groundwork for a more harmonious existence as we unravel the skills necessary for voicing your needs without reservation. And as you embark on this journey, I encourage you to engage with our community at Mindset Liberation by subscribing and sharing your thoughts, allowing us to support one another on this transformative path. Setting boundaries with confidence is an essential skill that directly influences your emotional well-being and relational satisfaction. This method proves effective because it allows individuals to clearly articulate their limits while simultaneously nurturing self-awareness. When you understand what is acceptable for you, the act of setting boundaries creates a protective barrier, empowering you to engage in healthier, more fulfilling interactions. One significant benefit is that assertive boundary setting enables you to cultivate self-respect and command respect from others. Research conducted by Dr. Patricia Hill found that individuals who effectively embraced boundaries not only reported higher self-esteem, but also less anxiety when interacting with others. The effectiveness of this method rests heavily on the psychological principle of self-advocacy. By asserting what one needs from relationships or situations, the individual demonstrates an understanding of their values and instances where those needs are not met. Studies have shown that advocating for personal boundaries significantly reduces stress and enhances emotional health. For instance, when you communicate your needs clearly, the burden of unexpressed resentment will lessen, fostering mental clarity and a sense of relief. The act itself reaffirms one's values while reinforcing personal agency in navigating various aspects of life. Consider the real-life story of Rachel, a devoted mother and caregiver who found solace in always putting her family first. While her instincts stemmed from love and dedication, the more she neglected her own needs, the more her self-worth deteriorated. She often felt fatigued and unappreciated, overwhelmed by the family's demands and losing sight of her aspirations. After attending a boundary-setting workshop, Rachel began tweaking her daily routine to include time for herself, whether through yoga, reading, or simply engaging in a hobby she had long set aside. Each small victory was catalyzed by her committing to set clear boundaries, allowing her family to understand her limits. Through this newfound perspective, Rachel transformed the dynamics within her household. Instead of guilt-laden exhaustion, she now radiated a sense of purpose that not only nurtured her own growth, but inspired similar self-advocacy in her children. Scientific reasoning further supports that setting boundaries promotes better mental health by shifting the focus back to individual needs, allowing for emotional recovery and personal growth. According to a meta-analysis published in the Journal of Happiness Studies, healthy boundary setting can lead to measurable increases in overall life satisfaction. Participants who empowered themselves to articulate desires and limitations reported stronger relationships and reduced feelings of isolation and depression. Ultimately, this method empowers individuals with choices. It reminds you of your inherent right to say no when necessary. Each time you assert your limits, you bolster your self-image and cultivate a life that reflects your values. It teaches you why saying yes should occur from genuine desire rather than obligation, setting the scene for more profound authenticity in your interactions. The urgency to adopt these techniques cannot be overstated, especially given the increasing pressures prevalent in everyday life. As you delve deeper into mastering this art of setting boundaries, you prepare yourself for future interactions that are aligned with your truest self. In the next chapter, we will explore the crucial strategies for communicating these boundaries effectively, ensuring that you articulate your needs with sincerity and strength. This transition is vital as we work towards solidifying your newfound self-respect and commitment to authenticity. I encourage you to remain engaged and proactive in your journey by subscribing to Mindset Liberation and sharing your thoughts with our community, enriching the collective experience we share on this path toward empowerment. To master the art of setting boundaries with confidence, it's essential to implement simple yet powerful steps that can lead to immediate results and long-lasting change in your life. Begin by taking a few moments each day for self-reflection. Consider setting aside quiet time to identify the areas of your life where you feel stretched too thin or dissatisfied. Ask yourself questions like, what makes me feel overwhelmed? Or, where do I feel my needs go unacknowledged? Writing down your thoughts in a journal creates a tangible way to visualize your boundaries and can serve as a reference point when you feel testing moments arise. The practice of reflection sets the stage for clearer communication about your limits, as it nourishes your self-awareness. Next, practice what's known as the 10-second rule. Whenever you're faced with a request that makes you feel uneasy or pressured, pause and count to 10 before responding. This brief moment of silence acts as a powerful buffer, allowing you to assess your feelings and consider whether the request aligns with your values. If you feel pulled to say yes out of obligation, you can instead express that you need time to think it over. This technique fosters responsiveness rather than reaction, helping you set boundaries steadily and confidently. Now, let's solidify your boundaries with the SMART boundary setting technique. This approach stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. When you outline your boundaries, ensure they are precise about what you are and aren't willing to accept. For example, if you find your work responsibilities overwhelming, a SMART boundary may involve stating that you are available for work-related concerns only between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Think of what you are passionate about and assure that your boundaries reflect that authenticity. This clarity not only makes it easier for others to respect your limits, but also empowers you to internally reinforce them, leading to small but significant wins. As you begin to assert these newfound boundaries into your life, celebrate every small step forward. Recognize when you successfully say no without excessive elaboration or when you communicate your needs effectively. Acknowledging these milestones fuels motivation and creates a habit of self-advocacy. Share these moments with supportive friends or journaling, allowing yourself to bask in the achievements that will ultimately accumulate into profound lifestyle changes. As you continue distancing from obligations that lead you away from your authentic self, notice the improvements in your emotional well-being. The empowerment that arises from owning your choices can dramatically shift your sense of control over your life. With each boundary established, tell yourself that you deserve respect for your time and energy. It won't take long for your relationships to flourish as you engage more sincerely from a place of clarity. Finally, as we draw this chapter to a close, remember that mastering the technique of boundary setting is just the beginning. In the next chapter, we will explore effective strategies for overcoming the often daunting fear of judgment that can accompany asserting our needs. Get ready to dismantle the barriers to your self-expression while gaining the strength to pursue your truth unapologetically. I encourage you to stay connected with Mindset Liberation, subscribe for more insights, like our content if it resonates, and share your thoughts in the comments. Together, we are forging a path toward unyielding authenticity and fulfillment. Chapter 4. Overcoming Fear of Judgment. Fear of judgment can be a paralyzing force, often silencing our truest aspirations and quelling our voices before they even have the chance to be heard. To thrive in life instead of merely existing, one must learn to overcome this fear that keeps so many of us tethered to the opinions of others. Learning to step beyond the paralyzing grip of judgment is an act of empowerment, a necessary journey towards reclaiming your voice and, by extension, your identity. When you confront and diminish this fear, you hold the key to genuinely expressing yourself without hesitation. Understanding the prevalence of this fear lays the groundwork for healing. According to a study published in the journal Social Anxiety, nearly 50% of adults experience extreme anxiety when faced with public judgment or criticism. This statistic is indicative of a collective struggle that far too many individuals face daily, be it in workplace scenarios, social gatherings, or personal relationships. The exaggerated perception of external scrutiny often leads individuals to compromise their authentic selves, thus perpetuating a vicious cycle of inadequacy and self-doubt. By recognizing that you are not alone in this battle, you empower yourself to confront its origins head-on. To frame this struggle in a practical context, consider the experience of Maria, a talented artist who, despite her creativity, hesitated to showcase her work due to an overwhelming fear of judgment from peers and critics. The voices of doubt echoed in her mind, dissuading her from sharing her art with the world. It wasn't until she began embracing the notion that her value did not hinge on external validation that she decided to take the leap. When she finally displayed her artwork at a local gallery, guided by the understanding that not everyone would resonate with her work, she experienced an unexpected wave of belonging and support that buoyed her spirit. Maria's journey reflects how the fear of judgment often masks genuine connection. And releasing that fear can yield surprising breakthroughs. Expert insights highlight that overcoming the fear of judgment is essential for authentic self-expression. Dr. Kristen Neff, a pioneer in self-compassion research, suggests that when individuals learn to treat themselves with kindness rather than criticism, they grant themselves the space to prosper beyond the confines of judgment. By shifting the narrative from focusing on others' opinions to practicing self-acceptance, individuals cultivate resilience and empowerment. Dr. Neff's work reveals that self-compassion not only alleviates feelings of anxiety, but encourages a mindset shift toward pursuing one's passions unabashedly. Moreover, individuals who engage in self-reflection and actively challenge negative beliefs show dramatic improvements in their capacity to face judgment. Research illustrates that by incrementally stepping out of their comfort zones, be it through public speaking, social engagements, or pursuing creative outlets, individuals foster a sense of agency that undermines the hold of judgment. It becomes possible for anyone to transform their narrative, gradually redefining what they perceive as acceptable or attainable, thus reinstating control over their emotional landscape. Inviting this shift marks the beginning of your journey to combat fear decisively and reclaim the joy of self-expression that is inherently yours. Being aware of the roots and ramifications of this fear is crucial, for understanding allows you to pave solid ground for tackling the emotional weight of judgment. As we advance to the next section, we will explore effective strategies to bolster your confidence in silencing that inner critic, equipping you to transcend the fear of judgment with unwavering resolve. This proactive approach will empower you to transform setbacks into spontaneous clarity, lighting a path toward authenticity. Join us as we explore techniques that bring you ever closer to the freedom you seek. And remember, engage with the Mindset Liberation community. Share your thoughts, suggest improvements, or simply express your journey in the comments. Together, we can break barriers and lift one another toward authentic fulfillment. Overcoming the fear of judgment requires deliberate strategies grounded in self-acceptance and resilience. This method is particularly effective because it invites individuals to establish a solid foundation of self-worth that is intrinsically motivated rather than reliant on external validation. This shift allows individuals to confront their fears head-on and mitigate the paralyzing effects judgment often inflicts. By addressing and reframing these fears, individuals develop a more profound understanding of their self-identity, which cultivates not only courage, but also emotional sturdiness. Scientific research consistently backs this approach. According to a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, individuals who engage in self-affirmation exercises, activities that promote self-reflection and highlight one's core values, significantly reduce anxiety associated with social evaluation. The study's findings demonstrate that when individuals remind themselves of their strengths and reflect on their personal values before facing situations that provoke judgment, they are better equipped to handle criticism and engage authentically. The brain, when primed with positivity, is more resilient in the face of perceived threats, allowing for a stronger response to judgment and scrutiny. Moreover, consider the story of Ethan, a high school student who struggled with public speaking due to a paralyzing fear of being judged by peers. For years, he opted out of class presentations and crushed opportunities to share his ideas with others. After attending a series of workshops focused on fronting fears and empowering self-expression, Ethan implemented self-affirmation techniques regularly. By reflecting on his value as a creative thinker and reminding himself of past successes, he gradually rebuilt his confidence. When it came time for the final project presentation, he stood before his classmates with newfound poise, unveiling his ideas without succumbing to the judgment he once dreaded. The result was not only a standing ovation from his peers, but more importantly, an unfaltering sense of pride that surpassed his initial fears. Ethan's journey exemplifies that when you sandwich your fears between positive self-affirmations and the challenges you face, every step leads you closer to overcoming the barriers imposed by the fear of judgment. Employing strategies like visualization can further enhance the efficacy of this method. Visualization involves mentally imagining yourself succeeding in situations that might ordinarily incite fear, experiencing the accompanying positive feelings. Studies have shown that effective visualization can improve an individual's performance and alleviate anxiety by familiarizing them with success. By repeatedly envisioning oneself overcoming potential judgment, a confident self-image takes form, which counteracts the anxiety surrounding social evaluation. Another layer of effectiveness lies in sharing these experiences with a supportive community. Consider the peer support systems established in grief groups or recovery programs. These groups thrive precisely because individuals find strength in shared vulnerabilities. Engaging in conversations about individual fears serves not only as a reminder that one is not alone, but it also normalizes the experience and diminishes its power. A simple discussion about fears can create a ripple effect of honesty, allowing communities to collectively dismantle their apprehensions regarding judgment. Thus, as you begin implementing these practical strategies, self-affirmation, visualization, and open dialogues, know that you are not just navigating through fear, but learning to transform it. Embracing this journey begins to redefine your relationship with self-judgment and empowers you to take confident strides towards your authentic self. As we approach the next chapter, we will embark on a journey into cultivating authentic relationships that support this newfound sense of self. Reflect on your experiences and continue engaging with our Mindset Liberation community by sharing your insights, as your story may inspire someone else on their path to overcoming the fear of judgment. Together, let's foster a space for authenticity and connection as we grapple with life's challenges side by side. To effectively overcome your fear of judgment, it's vital to implement actionable steps that gradually build your confidence and foster a sense of empowerment. Begin your journey by incorporating daily self-affirmation into your routine. Start each day with a simple practice. Stand in front of a mirror, look into your eyes, and affirm positive statements about yourself. Phrases like, "I am worthy," or "I have unique contributions to make," help reinforce a genuine self-image. Over time, this cultivates resilience against external judgment, reminding yourself that your value isn't determined by others. Next, implement the challenge your inner critic exercise. Each time negative thoughts arise, such as, "What will they think of me?" pause and jot them down. Following this, actively counter those thoughts with positive reframes. For instance, if the thought is, "I'll embarrass myself if I speak up," you could replace it with, "I have valuable insights to share and my voice matters." This technique shifts your narrative, replacing debilitating thoughts with empowering perspectives that bolster your confidence. Merging visualization techniques with your affirmations offers another powerful pathway to building comfort in situations of potential judgment. Before entering social scenarios or situations where you fear critique, like meetings or social events, take a moment to close your eyes and envision a successful exchange. Picture yourself speaking confidently, engaging authentically, and experiencing positive reception from those around you. Such mental rehearsals prime your brain to anticipate constructive experiences instead of fearful outcomes, preparing you to approach real-world situations with drawn courage. Pressing further, engage in a stepping stones approach. Create a list of scenarios that induce feelings of judgment, ranging from minor to more significant challenges. For instance, a less daunting task might be to voice an opinion in a small group, while a more significant challenge could be presenting in front of a larger audience. Start with the easiest scenario and progressively tackle more difficult situations as your confidence builds. Each successful encounter stands as a victory, reinforcing your capabilities and making the daunting task feel less overpowering with each repetition. Don't forget the importance of community support in this transformative process. Find or create a supportive environment, either through groups or social circles, to share your experiences of vulnerability and courage. Discussing your fears with others reinforces connections and can instill the courage to be authentic in the face of judgment, reminding you that you are far from alone. Positioning yourself within a supportive network proves invaluable in erasing the stigma of fear while celebrating personal victories, no matter how small. As you start to witness these changes unfold within you, Celebrate every small win. Whether it's expressing your thoughts in a chat or participating in a social event that once caused anxiety, the acknowledgement of progress fortifies your trust in yourself even more. The cumulative effect of these small successes begins to reshape your self-perception, fostering resilience against fear. With these steps, you're now stepping into a more confident existence, Spieler, educated in combating judgment effectively and embracing who you truly are. As we turn the next page, we will explore how to cultivate authentic relationships that nurture your growth and support your journey. Anticipate strategies that create connections forged in deep understanding and mutual respect. I encourage you to continue engaging with the Mindset Liberation community. Subscribe to stay updated, like this video if the content resonates with you, and feel free to share your thoughts or suggestions for further development. Together, we can navigate toward a life grounded in authenticity and genuine connection. Chapter 5. Cultivating Authentic Relationships. The transformative power of authentic relationships cannot be overstated. They serve as the foundational pillars of emotional well-being and personal growth. When built upon honesty, trust, and vulnerability, these connections nurture our spirits and provide a supportive environment for healing and flourishing. Unfortunately, in a world dominated by superficial connections and social media interactions, cultivating authentic relationships can become as daunting as climbing a mountain. Yet fear not. The journey begins with the desire to be genuine and connect deeply with others, and you hold the key to initiating this transformation. Understanding the critical nature of these relationships is paramount. Studies conducted by the American Psychological Association indicate that genuine social connections are linked to a 50% reduction in the risk of depression and stress-related illnesses. In essence, the quality of our relationships significantly impacts our health, happiness, and overall mental well-being. In contrast, superficial interactions can foster feelings of isolation, leaving individuals yearning for deeper understanding and acceptance. It's clear that prioritizing authenticity in oneself and in relationships can shift not only personal outlooks, but also transform communal environments. Real-life examples highlight the immense value of prioritizing authentic connections. Take Michael, a business professional who once thrived solely on networking for career advancement. He quickly discovered that while his connections were plentiful, they remained profoundly shallow. Overwhelmed with feelings of loneliness despite being surrounded by contacts, Michael began exploring the impact of authenticity on his relationships. He chose to open up about his struggles, which soon led to unexpected connections. Colleagues he barely knew began to share their vulnerabilities in return. This situation ignited a spark of emotional honesty that transformed his workplace into a supportive community. Michael's journey exemplifies that nurturing authenticity instigates a ripple effect, encouraging others to embrace their raw selves, thus fostering fertile ground for deeper connections. Contributing further to this narrative, experts emphasize the role of vulnerability as an essential component of authentic relationships. Dr. Brené Brown, a leading researcher in this field, discovered that vulnerability cultivates intimacy and emotional support. People are inherently drawn to those who share their beliefs and struggles, understanding that honesty aids in developing trust and companionship. When you allow yourself to be real, free of masks, you've already taken the first vital step toward enriching your relational experiences. However, many individuals fear exposure and judgment and hesitate to fully engage in vulnerable conversations. As logical as it may seem, we often underestimate how genuine connections evolve from moments where both parties dare to lay bare their hearts. A revealing statistic published in the Journal of Personality indicates that mutual vulnerability correlates with higher relationship satisfaction, illustrating that when one person takes a leap of faith by sharing their truth, the other often reciprocates. This delicate yet powerful act fosters an environment rich in understanding and compassion. There's an immediate reminder of the tremendous potential contained within us to initiate these authentic connections. By shedding the layers of fear and pretense, you harness your innate ability to deepen your interpersonal bonds, leading to improved emotional health. Committing to honesty encapsulates a radical approach to relationships, that reassures you of your power to cultivate understanding, trust, and connection. Harness this knowledge as you explore ways to align your relationships more closely with this core principle of authenticity. As we delve deeper into the upcoming sections, we will explore concrete strategies for nurturing these authentic relationships, ensuring you possess the tools necessary for sustaining meaningful connections. The journey toward closeness and understanding enriches a meaningful existence, paving the way for supportive bonds dusted with honesty and vulnerability. Before we continue, I encourage you to engage with the Mindset Liberation community by sharing your experiences and insights, and consider subscribing for more empowering content. Together, we can illuminate the path to genuine connection and fulfillment. Cultivating authentic relationships is an effective method for overcoming feelings of isolation and disconnection, as it creates a supportive network that fosters both emotional resilience and personal growth. Authentic relationships enable individuals to be seen and understood, fulfilling fundamental human needs for connection and acceptance. By deliberately nurturing these genuine bonds, people become equipped with emotional resources that buffer against stress and anxiety, ultimately leading to enhanced well-being. Scientific research consistently highlights the significance of authentic relationships in promoting mental health. A major study published in the journal Health Psychology indicates that individuals with strong social ties experience lower rates of chronic illness, depression, and anxiety. The underlying premise is that when we engage with others on a genuine level, we develop trust and intimacy that cultivates emotional safety. This safety allows individuals to share their thoughts and feelings freely, resulting in feelings of belonging that counteract loneliness. It also boosts self-esteem as we receive validation and support from those who truly know us. Real-life stories further underscore the urgency of cultivating authentic connections. Consider the journey of Lisa, a young woman who for years felt alone amidst a bustling social life. Although she attended parties and social gatherings, she was often shrouded in a wall of superficial interactions, leaving her yearning for true companionship. After facing a difficult personal crisis, she resolved to become more vulnerable and open about her experiences. By sharing her struggles with a small circle of friends, Lisa discovered not only empathy, but also a powerful bond that had been waiting to form. Her friends reciprocated by sharing their vulnerabilities, catalyzing a deeper relationship rooted in mutual trust and understanding. As a result, Lisa no longer feels isolated. Instead, she feels anchored in a supportive network that celebrates honesty and connection. Additionally, expert insights reinforce the effectiveness of connection through vulnerability. Research by social psychologist Dr. John Gottman reveals that successful relationships hinge on emotional intimacy, which is cultivated through open dialogue and mutual disclosure. Dr. Gottman asserts that the right balance of self-disclosure enhances relational satisfaction, creating a safety net where individuals can express their true selves without fear of ostracism or judgment. This finding emphasizes the necessity of embracing vulnerability in the path toward authenticity and lays a solid foundation for deepening connections. Furthermore, embracing authentic relationships helps to dissolve feelings of imposter syndrome, which often plague individuals questioning their self-worth. When surrounded by genuine support and acceptance, the internal narrative of inadequacy diminishes. Feeling valued in authentic relationships not only combats self-doubt but transforms it into empowerment. The freedom to be oneself without pretense catalyzes a ripple effect that positively impacts overall self-view. This method is immensely effective because it shifts the focus from compliance with societal expectations to embracing who you are at your core. Establishing connections grounded in truth and vulnerability leads to profound self-realization, allowing individuals to rediscover their sense of purpose and identity. The symbiosis that grows between people who bravely reveal their authentic selves paves the way for unprecedented emotional richness in their lives. As we journey on toward exploring more strategies for nurturing these authentic relationships, rest assured that actively pursuing these connections is within your grasp. In the next chapter, we will examine the intricate art of maintaining and deepening these relationships to enrich your life's journey. This knowledge will amplify the joy of connection and foster an enriching space that nurtures growth and transformation. Encourage your engagement with the Mindset Liberation community. It's vital to share your stories or thoughts on fostering authentic relationships. Together, we can create a space that uplifts and empowers all who seek deeper connections. To cultivate authentic relationships, it's imperative to employ specific actionable steps that enable heartfelt connections with others. Start this process by setting clear intentions for the relationships you wish to nurture. Take a moment to reflect on what authenticity means to you and consider the qualities you value most in meaningful connections. Write these qualities down, be it honesty, vulnerability, or supportiveness. With a focused perspective, you'll be better equipped to seek out and foster relationships that align with your commitment to authenticity. Once you have clarity on your intentions, take the next step by initiating deeper conversations. Begin with people you trust, whether friends or family members. During your conversations, allow yourself to share something personally significant, details from your life, your dreams or fears, while inviting them to reciprocate. You might say something like, "I've been feeling overwhelmed about work lately. How have you been managing your stress?" This shift creates a platform for open dialogue, emphasizing that vulnerability invites mutual understanding and connection. Next, practice the active listening technique. This involves not just hearing, but fully engaging with what the other person is saying. Put away distractions such as your phone or laptop, maintain eye contact, and validate their feelings, signaling that you are present and invested in the conversation. Encourage them to elaborate on their thoughts by using prompts like, "Tell me more about that," or "How did that make you feel?" This not only strengthens the bond between you, but fosters an environment where authenticity can flourish. To develop a culture of mutual vulnerability, dedicate time for regular check-ins with your close connections. Schedule informal meetups or virtual calls, and make it a habit to inquire about what they currently need and how they're feeling. These moments reinforce accountability and reaffirm support, ensuring that the relationships remain reciprocal, with both parties invested in each other's well-being. Embrace small wins by celebrating moments where you express vulnerability or openness. Perhaps you finally attended an event where you didn't know many people and struck up a conversation. Acknowledge this success. Reflect on those moments in your journal and consider what made you feel comfortable enough to engage honestly. By recognizing these experiences, you heighten your awareness of your capacity for genuine connection and solidify your commitment to the journey. In tandem, engage in self-reflection following significant interactions. After a meaningful conversation, reflect on how it made you feel. Did you feel drained or energized? What worked well? This reflection is crucial as it guides you to tailor future interactions to enhance your experiences further. As you incorporate these techniques into your life, remain patient with yourself. Building authentic relationships is not an overnight endeavor. It's a gradual process filled with ongoing learning, growth, and exploration. Each step forward cultivates deeper connections and nurtures a support system that resonates with your core values. As we veer into the next chapter, brace yourself for an enriching exploration of sustaining and nurturing these authentic relationships. We will discuss the essential skills and habits that cultivate relatability while ensuring these connections remain vibrant and supportive. In the spirit of community and connection, I invite you to engage with the Mindset Liberation platform. Subscribe to be part of our journey, like this content if it resonates, and share your experiences or insights in the comments. Together, let's forge lasting bonds toward a fulfilling and authentic life. Chapter 6: Staying Grounded in Challenges. In a world that relentlessly presents challenges, maintaining inner strength and stability is essential for overcoming adversity and navigating life's unpredictability. Staying grounded amid life's storms acts as an anchor, allowing you to respond to obstacles with clarity, resilience, and intention. It fosters a sense of control, enabling individuals to navigate challenges without being swept away by anxiety or overwhelm. The journey to cultivate this grounding is not merely beneficial, it is pivotal for personal empowerment, aiding you in transforming your mindset and emotional responses during turbulent times. The need for grounding techniques arises from the all-too-common experiences of stress and uncertainty. According to a report from the American Psychological Association, more than 70% of adults in the U.S. experience stress that negatively affects their mental health. This statistic highlights a collective struggle for emotional stability, serving as a reminder that feelings of being unmoored or anxious can affect anyone. Understanding that these feelings are universal can empower you to reclaim your inner center, reinforcing the inherent ability you possess to weather adversity. Consider the story of Daniel, a project manager who faced immense pressure to deliver results during an organizational transition. As deadlines loomed and the stakes rose, he noticed overwhelming feelings of anxiety bubbling to the forefront. Instead of succumbing to stress, Daniel decided to implement grounding techniques he had read about during his initial training as a manager. He began with mindful breathing exercises that took mere minutes of his day, deliberately focusing on inhaling and exhaling, letting go of the chaotic thoughts that consumed him. Research supports the efficacy of such techniques. According to findings published in the Journal of Applied Psychophysiology and Biofeedback, mindfulness practices can significantly reduce stress levels and foster a sense of presence and clarity. This potent connection between mindfulness and stress reduction reinforces that you too can drive powerful change within your emotional landscape through the consistent application of grounding techniques. Expanding on Daniel's experience, as he accessed these simple but transformative tools, he began to cultivate an unwavering sense of calm. Mindfulness allowed him to create clarity amid chaos. By focusing on the present moment, he learned to detach himself from the compulsion to worry about future outcomes. This shift not only empowered him to make coherent decisions, but also encouraged his team to adopt similar practices. His approach inspired increased trust within his workspace, allowing a newfound collective resilience to emerge. Moreover, mental health experts emphasize the importance of instilling grounding practices as a proactive strategy. Dr. John Kabat-Zinn, a pioneer in mindfulness-based stress reduction, posits that fostering mindfulness enables individuals to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. His work underscores the urgent need to prioritize strategies such as visualization, deep breathing, and mindfulness meditation as powerful tools for emotional regulation. They promote resilience and clarity during periods of stress. Understanding that you have the power to cultivate grounding techniques tailored to your lifestyle is key in reclaiming emotional stability. Whether through simple daily practices or deeper explorations into mindfulness, every small effort contributes to building an unmistakable reservoir of resilience. Recognizing the potential for growth inherent in challenges sets the stage for a transformational journey to mental clarity. As we move forward in this chapter, prepare to explore specific steps for implementing these grounding techniques into your daily routine, ensuring you remain anchored despite life's uncertainties. This commitment creates a solid foundation to help you respond with strength and ease. I encourage you to engage with the Mindset Liberation community. Share your experiences, thoughts, and suggestions as we journey together toward resilience and empowerment in facing life's challenges. Implementing grounding techniques is essential for not only managing stress, but also reclaiming a sense of agency in situations of chaos. These methods serve as effective tools because they help create a mental buffer between the stressors of everyday life and your emotional responses. They allow you to pause, regulate your breathing, and refocus your thoughts, thereby sidestepping the often reactive responses that overwhelm and unbalance you. This approach enables you to intentionally regain the power to shape your reactions, rather than allowing external circumstances to dictate your emotional state. Research supports the effectiveness of grounding techniques comprehensively. A study published in Mindfulness found that participants who practiced grounding exercises showed a significant decrease in anxiety levels, along with improved emotional regulation. Further, individuals reported a marked decrease in feelings of overwhelm. Grounding methods such as deep breathing, mindful observation, or progressive muscle relaxation shifted participants' focus from distressing thoughts to immediate sensory experiences, anchoring them in the present moment. These findings represent a powerful illustration of how these techniques can cultivate emotional resilience amid life's inevitable challenges. Consider the remarkable transformation of Priya, a high school teacher who frequently felt stressed and anxious about the increasing demands of her profession. Working in a fast-paced educational environment, she often found herself caught in a cycle of self-doubt and frustration, which took a considerable toll on her mental health. After successively pushing through stressful situations without employing any coping strategies, Priya reached a tipping point. Determined to regain control, she enrolled in a mindfulness course that introduced her to grounding techniques. One specific exercise, known as the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, proved particularly effective. This method involves identifying 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Through this process, Priya learned to reconnect with her surroundings, shifting her focus away from overwhelming thoughts that spiraled into anxiety. Over time, she incorporated this practice into her daily routine, particularly during tense moments at work. With each mindful practice, Priya became more capable of asserting her needs while fostering a positive classroom environment. The results were transformative. She carried a newfound composure that created a significant impact, leading to stronger connections with her students. This narrative exemplifies that grounding techniques not only serve to alleviate immediate stressors, but also cultivate an enduring sense of calm and clarity. Practicing such mindfulness allows individuals to develop a framework for managing their emotions constructively, resulting in the further enhancement of social and professional relationships. The self-awareness gained through these practices enables you to respond to stressors more effectively, promoting healthier choices during challenging interactions, whether with colleagues, friends, or family. Moreover, grounding techniques cultivate a sense of stability in formal and informal relationships alike by fostering connection and empathy. When you are grounded in your feelings and responses, you exhibit a serenity that facilitates open dialogue and emotional intimacy, encouraging reciprocal exchanges with others. Such connections enrich your relationships and create supportive environments, ultimately enhancing your personal and collective resilience. The importance of mastering grounding techniques is crystal clear, as they hold the potential to stabilize your emotional landscape. As we move forward into the next part of this chapter, prepare to explore specific, practical exercises that will empower you to incorporate grounding techniques into your daily life seamlessly. Discover how to effectively utilize these strategies, reinforcing not only your journey toward emotional clarity, but also enhancing your readiness for the challenges ahead. I encourage you to share your experiences with these techniques and engage with the Mindset Liberation community. Collaboration thrives when we come together to support each other's growth. To effectively implement grounding techniques into your daily life, begin by integrating a simple yet impactful exercise known as the mindful breathing technique. Find a quiet space where you can sit or lie down comfortably without distractions. Close your eyes and take a deep breath through your nose, allowing your diaphragm to expand fully. Hold for a brief moment, then release the breath slowly through your mouth. Focus solely on the sensation of your breath as it enters and exits your body. Start with just 5 minutes each day, gradually increasing the duration as you become more comfortable with the practice. This exercise sets the tone for connecting with your breath, anchoring you to the present moment and enabling a sense of tranquility. As you practice mindful breathing, keep a journal where you can jot down your thoughts and feelings surrounding this technique. Each time you complete a session, reflect on how it made you feel before, during, and after the exercise. Tracking your progress helps solidify the habit while allowing you to recognize emotional shifts and improvements in your ability to remain grounded amid life's chaos. Next, introduce the grounding visualization exercise into your routine. Begin by picturing your body surrounded by a warm, glowing light that represents safety and comfort. As you settle into this visualization, imagine roots extending from your feet into the earth, anchoring you securely to the ground. The deeper the roots grow, the more stable and confident you feel. Spend a few minutes developing this imagery, reinforcing the sensations of stability and calm. In times of stress or anxiety, revisit this visualization. Whenever you feel unsteady, a few moments spent with this mental exercise will help you regain balance. Another effective method for grounding is to practice nature immersion. If possible, spend time outdoors, immersing yourself in natural surroundings. Whether taking a walk in a park, sitting under a tree, or simply observing the sky, allow the sights, sounds, and sensations of nature to envelop you. Feel the textures of grass beneath your fingers, listen to the rustle of leaves, and connect with the rhythm of nature. This engagement with the natural world stimulates your senses and cultivates mindfulness, promoting feelings of peace and relaxation. Additionally, carry out a weekly gratitude reflection. Set aside a specific time each week to reflect on the positive aspects of your life. Write down a list of things you appreciate, big or small. By consciously acknowledging what brings you joy or comfort, you'll retrain your focus away from stressors and align your mindset toward positivity. This small but essential exercise empowers you to shift your perception, always viewing challenges through a lens of gratitude and resilience. As you continue practicing these grounding techniques, celebrate the small wins along the way. Perhaps you managed to stay calm during a stressful work meeting or navigated a challenging personal situation with newfound clarity. Recognizing your progress reinforces the effectiveness of the exercises and serves as motivation to keep striving toward emotional stability. With this foundation in place, prepare for the next chapter, where we will explore strategies for maintaining emotional balance in the face of ongoing challenges. Cultivating resilience during times of difficulty is essential to embracing growth, and the tools we will discuss will empower you to navigate life's hurdles with confidence. If this journey resonates with your experiences, consider subscribing to the Mindset Liberation community, liking the content, and sharing your thoughts or suggestions in the comments. Your participation helps foster a supportive environment where we can grow together on this transformative path. Chapter 7. Living aligned with your truth. Living an authentic life, one where your actions, values, and beliefs harmoniously exist, represents the pinnacle of personal fulfillment. Aligning with your truth is not just an idealistic notion, it is a transformative practice that empowers you to enhance your emotional well-being, strengthen relationships, and cultivate resilience against life's inevitable challenges. The journey to this alignment begins with a commitment to yourself, inviting you to explore the depths of your identity and to live unabashedly in accordance with your unique essence. The significance of living aligned with your truth is poignantly evidenced by research published in the journal Personality and Social Psychology Review, which reveals a direct relationship between authenticity and well-being. The study demonstrates that individuals who express their true selves experience heightened life satisfaction, lower levels of anxiety, and stronger emotional resilience. This fundamental connection between authenticity and mental health serves as a powerful reminder. When you embrace who you truly are, you engage with your life from a place of strength rather than fear. Consider the real-life example of Emily, who spent years conforming to the expectations and desires of others. Growing up in a family that prioritized conventional success, she pursued a career in law despite her unwavering passion for fashion design. While on the surface, she appeared successful, internally, she felt hollow and disconnected. After grappling with this dissonance for years, Emily had a moment of clarity during a self-reflection session. She realized that conforming to an unfulfilling path was extinguishing her creativity and inflicting emotional distress. Emboldened by this newfound awareness, she decided to pursue fashion, ultimately launching her own clothing line. The transformation was remarkable. Emily not only found happiness in her work, but she also became a beacon of inspiration for others grappling with similar dilemmas. The urgent call to embrace authenticity echoes throughout expert literature. Dr. Shelmina B. Babai, an expert in workplace authenticity, states that when individuals bring their true selves to work, embracing their unique strengths and perspectives, their potential expands exponentially. It becomes clear that authenticity doesn't just enrich individual lives, it can also spark innovation and cooperation in communal environments. Establishing a culture where authenticity thrives, accelerates collective growth, and deepens interconnections. However, navigating toward a life aligned with one's truth can be fraught with uncertainty. For many, the fear of societal judgment or disapproval can impede self-expression. Psychological assessments from the American Psychological Association reveal that nearly 60% of individuals report feeling that their true selves remain hidden due to perceived expectations. Recognizing this common struggle serves to reassure you that you are not alone on this journey. Countless individuals feel similarly disillusioned in the pursuit of authentic living. The challenge becomes one of surrendering to your inner voice, the one that speaks to your values, beliefs, and desires. By undertaking the courageous act of mining your inner truth, you lay the groundwork for transformative change. You learn to trust your instincts, guiding you toward choices that resonate with your real self. As you embark on this exploration, remember that authenticity may manifest in countless forms, each valid in its unique way. Ultimately, understanding that the journey of living aligned with your truth is both a personal exploration and a communal commitment is key. As we move forward in this chapter, we will dive deeper into practical strategies for uncovering your authentic self and creating a life that genuinely reflects your core essence. This commitment to authenticity promises to elevate your experience, bringing forth renewed energy and clarity. So let us embrace this process together, taking each step toward empowerment. Engage with the Mindset Liberation community by sharing your thoughts and experiences, and consider subscribing for further insights on your journey to authenticity. Embracing a life aligned with your truth is effective because it offers a pathway to reclaim personal agency and emotional authenticity. This transformation allows individuals to shed societal pressures that dictate how they should live, ultimately fostering a stronger sense of identity and self-worth. The process of embracing one's whole self can dismantle the barriers of self-doubt and insecurity, enabling people to navigate life's complexities with renewed confidence and clarity. The positive effects of this approach extend well beyond individual emotional well-being. They often radiate into relationships, careers, and overall life satisfaction. Scientific research affirms the power of authenticity in enhancing mental health. In a study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies, researchers found that individuals who reported higher levels of authenticity also exhibited increased levels of subjective well-being. They experienced more joy, life satisfaction, and fewer symptoms of anxiety and depression. This research underlines a profound reality. Living authentically leads to psychological payout, and by being true to yourself, you cultivate not just joy, but mental fortitude in the face of adversity. Mirroring this evidence, consider the journey of Alex, someone who found himself engulfed in an identity crisis while trying to fit into a corporate culture that felt foreign and stifling. After years attempting to climb the corporate ladder by adhering to prescribed norms, he felt increasingly disconnected from his passions and interests. Recognizing that this detachment led to a sense of frustration and plain unfulfillment, Alex sought counsel from a mentor who encouraged him to explore his intrinsic motivations, the things that genuinely excited him. His awakening began with a straightforward exercise. He started journaling his passions and values outside of work. This practice unveiled layers of his identity that he had neglected. Rather than viewing his interests as mere hobbies or distractions, Alex began to appreciate their significance to his overall happiness and existence. Once aware of the gap that existed between whom he was being and whom he wished to be, he steadily started incorporating elements of his passions into his professional life. He pursued projects that resonated with his artistic side and instituted brainstorming sessions to encourage creative thinking in his team. The changes sparked positive dynamics within his workplace and eventually led to him launching an internal project focusing on innovation through design, aligning his true self with his professional contributions. This transition did not only create productive synergy, but culminated in a palpable shift in his emotional health. Fewer work-related anxieties and a renewed sense of purpose propelled him into a much more authentic way of living. Alex's transformation serves as a compelling exemplification of how deeply understanding and embracing your truth can catalyze profound changes, not just personally, but at an organizational or societal level as well. Living aligned with your truth prioritizes profound self-reflection and critical analysis of your actions, values, and beliefs. The urgency to adopt this practice revolves around the need to counter societal pressures that often spur superficial living. The discomfort and tension experienced from not being aligned with authentic values can fog one's perception of self and steer life choices into directions that yield little satisfaction. Therefore, when you begin investing intentional effort in this area, through self-reflection, exploration, or practical exercises like journaling, you reclaim that clarity of self. The implications extend into all aspects of life, empowering you to define your life's journey while forging connections that reflect shared values and understanding. As we proceed into this chapter, we will explore specific, actionable strategies for uncovering your core truths and silencing any barriers that hinder your authentic expression. Embrace the potential for change that accompanies self-discovery and connect with the Mindset Liberation community to share your insights, experiences, or thoughts. Together, let's step into the empowering realm of authenticity. To illuminate the path of living aligned with your truth, begin by implementing intentional practices that enable you to connect deeply with your values and desires. Start by carving out a dedicated space each week for a self-reflective authenticity hour. During this time, create an environment that feels safe and conducive to introspection. This may involve lighting a candle, playing soft music, or choosing a particular spot where you feel comfortable. The goal is to free your mind from distractions, cultivating openness to explore your innermost beliefs and aspirations. Within this hour, engage in mindfulness and journaling exercises. Begin by closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths to center yourself. As you inhale, visualize positive energy entering your body, allowing it to fill you with strength and clarity. With every exhale, release any self-doubt or uncertainties that may hinder your progress. Once you feel centered, open your journal and reflect on the core values that define who you are. Consider questions such as, what brings me genuine joy? Or what principles do I hold most dear? Jot down your thoughts unfiltered, allowing yourself to express whatever comes to mind. This practice can awaken clarity about your authentic self, illuminating areas where your life may currently diverge from your aspirations. Next, create a vision board as a visual representation of your authentic life. Gather magazines, images, or even printouts that resonate with your aspirations and values, whether through personal achievements, experiences, or places you wish to explore. Cutting out images and arranging them thoughtfully can invigorate your space while reinforcing your commitment to living genuinely. Place this vision board somewhere visible so it serves as a daily reminder to pursue a life aligned with your truth. Transitioning into less tangible efforts, take time each day to practice affirmational self-talk. Whenever you face decisions or challenges, reinforce your authenticity by repeating affirmations related to your values and desires. For instance, you could assert, I have the courage to express my true self, or I am worthy of pursuing my passions. These affirmations may initially feel unfamiliar, but over time, they will bolster your sense of self, creating a mental framework that enhances your authenticity. Consider the power of accountability in reinforcing your journey. Share your commitment to living authentically with a trusted friend or mentor who can support you. Discuss your goals and check in with each other regularly, creating a sense of shared growth as you navigate your paths. Their encouragement can boost your confidence, especially when facing challenges or uncertainties about being true to yourself. Initiate actions, no matter how small, that reflect your truth. This could mean saying no to commitments that misalign with your values or saying yes to opportunities that excite and fulfill you. Record your progress in your journal, celebrating each step as a small win. These tiny victories reinforce your alignment and transform abstract aspirations into daily realities. As you implement these practices, keep in mind that the path to authenticity is an ongoing journey, not a destination. By embracing the process, you invite continuous transformation, allowing your true self to gradually emerge and flourish. You foster a vibrant sense of connection with your essence as you strive for authenticity in your interactions and endeavors. In the next chapter, we will explore how to manage external pressures while maintaining your authentic self in different environments, especially in challenging situations. Together, we'll uncover strategies that empower you to hold on to your truth amidst temptation to conform. As you engage with this journey, consider connecting with the Mindset Liberation community by sharing your reflections, insights, and encouragement. Your contributions enrich the collective growth we all aspire to achieve. In conclusion, the journey you have embarked upon through Inner Compass, staying true to yourself despite peer pressure, has been about discovering and embracing your authentic self amidst the myriad challenges and pressures of everyday life. Throughout this book, we delved into defining your core values, trusting your inner voice, and setting healthy boundaries that empower you to navigate the complexities of relationships and emotional well-being. We explored practical techniques for overcoming the fear of judgment, cultivating genuine connections, and staying grounded during turbulent times. All essential steps that guide you toward living in alignment with your truth. By integrating these insights into your daily life, you not only enrich your own emotional landscapes, but also foster deeper, more authentic relationships with those around you. Thank you for taking the time to journey through this transformative material. Remember, embracing your authentic self is a continual process that requires patience and commitment. If this content resonated with you, please like this video, leave your comments, and share your thoughts or experiences. Every piece of engagement helps build our Mindset Liberation community, so don't forget to subscribe for more empowering insights and strategies. Together, let's continue on the path toward authenticity and fulfillment.